Good morning, everybody. Yeah, you're still on time. You made it, Cindy. Well, I didn't actually click the live button, right, until 3 minutes until it started, but I had it on, I had it to where if you were over in my videos, you could, click on it. I think AJ Blunt is here, and I'm glad that he's here. And my son every morning texts me at this exact time, and it's my oldest son, so I'm actually like excited to hear from him every day too now. And so, man, it's just been like far more like life is far better than I deserve, right? Like everything that I thought my life or that my kids or that my except for my marriage, has turned out way better than I ever thought it would ever be, Like I didn't have high expectations for really a lot of things, but I was like my oldest son for some reason, right? Like no matter what he does, he always does like he does it right the first try and is like usually like he's just successful. I don't like I can't even really explain it. It's just I'm just proud of him, right? Right, with no effort, right? And my youngest one struggles to catch some things, but because of the hard work, it makes you prouder. Like it makes you just as proud, right? Because you're prouder of the moments that he gets, right? And so they're just way different as people. And I appreciate their differences for sure, because them only being 2 years apart, right? It's like um, the risk is that you would compare them, like, oh, why can't you be like your brother or blah blah blah, right? But they're so different in behavior and character that we don't ever get to that, it's there's no temptation to do that. And the little one is bigger than the big one, so there's no problems with them fighting or anything. Anyway, enough of my life, right? It's just that, like, I'm so happy about God, right? Like, because now that I'm not worried about things like, how, like, I'm this age and, like, I'm 44 years old, right? And I got this much time left, and this is what I've accomplished, and I got this much for retirement. I've only achieved this. I have that, all that, right? All the vacations I want to take, right? Instead of thinking like that, um, I know that the next level is where we belong, right? I know that we're divine creations that have a place, right? We were intentionally created, right, to uh to move on to the next level, and because of Jesus Christ, we have a gift of grace, and it's like it's unbelievable to me to know that, like, that this is what our future is, right? And so you don't stress about any of that other stuff, right? Because it doesn't matter. It matters, I guess. I mean, if my kids accomplished things, of course I'm going to be proud, right? If they achieve things or whatever. But I'm more concerned with if they're surrounding themselves with people that make them happy, and encourage them, and they encourage others, and other people feel good around them, and they navigate through the day, um, in a way that, like, when a problem comes up, they can handle it in a quick-witted way, as opposed to accumulating knowledge, some kind of knowledge. But I mean, but it's their life, right? I mean, they could do whatever they want, and I'm cool with that. I mean, this is one thing that was hard for me to deal with, especially with my kids, right? Is that we all have free will. I mean, every human being is their own separate human being. So, my kids are separate people from me, right? And they have the free will to choose or not choose, um, to follow God or not. And I have, one kid that's saved and one kid that I think maybe on his way. But these are things I have to accept, right? And so these are things are also it's also things we have to accept, like in our friends too, right? Like there's going to be friends of ours that, even though they live their lives in a decent way, and it wouldn't be really that much of an effort for them to just say, I accept the the grace of Jesus, right? It, it, some people just won't do it, and I can't explain why. Like I can't explain what, like, what do you what do you gain? Like, what is there to gain by not believing it? Like, I've had people actually try to convince me, right, that, like, I've had people, well, under age of accountability. My kids are 21 and 18, but I've had actually people try to talk me out of, like, that, oh yeah, Jesus is, he never died, or he's, or they give me some kind of zeitgeist. uh the zeitgeist thing is something that just is the gift that keeps on giving, right? And I'm saying that in a sarcastic way. It's like the worst thing ever, right? It's like over and over and over again you get these people that want to tell you that, such and such is older than Christianity. Well, of course, but like nothing predates God, right? Like, and there was always prophecy that Jesus was coming, right? And so it's like they act like just because Christianity started when Jesus got here, that, like, that, like, there wasn't anybody following the Bible, before that. Of course they were. And so it's just all a bunch of word tricks, right? And what they count on is us not reading the Bible, right? They count on us not knowing. So they can tell us all these, hey, did you know that this actually came before this and that, and this, culture did this or whatever. And it's always some kind of, it's just like the heliocentric, cosmology of, like, planets and stuff, right? It's always some kind of illusion that yeah, they try to get you. And, oh, you're not late, Sheila, don't worry about it. Like, it takes me a while to get warmed up anyway. Ask Cindy. It's yeah, I was just talking about my kids and all that, like when I first started. And and then people that try to talk you out of salvation, it's like, well, what do you get for trying to talk me out of it? And what do I get, if you do talk me out of it? Then where are we? At what point? Then what are we? Where are we at this point? And I just never understood that. Like I never understood that. Like, people talking you out of it. As if as if it's like some huge deception that is going to cost me dearly. Number one, I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm sure of it. Like, of course, it took a long time of, like, I get these, like, obsessive learning spats. Like, it happened with the flat Earth, and it happened again with, trying to figure out which God was the right God. And it was like never ending, video after video after video, book after book after book. I couldn't stop learning. I wanted to, every piece of material that I could get. And really, the best way to prove the Bible is just to read the Bible, right? And I say that, right, because, yeah, it doesn't seem like that's the way to do it. Go to the Bible to prove the Bible, because, excuse me, because you know you're going to the source to prove the source, right? But the Bible is such a uh, it's just like a super book, man, that proves itself, right? In life, like these things they come true. In everyday scenarios, they come true. And I don't know how to explain it, but like the more you read the Bible, the more you understand that it's like how much it helps with life, how much it knows what you're going to do, how much it knows what you're thinking in certain situations. And it's like, it's eerie, you know? And so like I would go to all these sources, right, to try to prove or disprove the Bible, right? And there's so many people, right, that are like motivated to um you know they can't disprove it, but it's like they want to just keep you away from it, basically. And I have no idea why, and but people spend lots of money to do it. And it's you realize just how sick this world is, because once you crack the Bible and start reading it, it is amazing. Yeah, the Bible reads you. You're right about that. Because like I'll be talking and then of course I hate to paraphrase all the time, but like it kind of like little paraphrases verses sometimes, mostly a whole verse, but sometimes it'll be less than a verse, which I don't like to repeat it if it's not a full verse. Um but yeah, like just pop up in my life to help me. And God is already prepared for what you're going to say to what his issue what his answer is to your problem, and then he like quickly gets you to stop thinking that way. And it's like the book is amazing, right? And so if like let's say, okay, that it is written by people, right, and not through inspiration by God, right? If it's written by people, then it's even more impressive, because it's like these books were written 1,000 years apart, right? I mean, like this over 1,000 years, and not meant to go together, right? Like, I mean, some of them were meant to go together, but they fit together perfect. It's astounding. Like, and the prophecy in it is exact. It's like I don't yeah, I don't I don't understand why people like read the Bible. If you are having any kind of issues in your life, right, where you need help or you need encouragement, or um you're carrying a lot of weight of memories or whatever, guilt, shame, anything, right? Blame, um stress, anything, right? And like what I started to do at first, right, just to get into reading it, right, is I would read the Proverbs for the day, right? There's 30 chapters in Proverbs, and so you just do on the first you just read number one, and on the second you read number two. And so what I did was I used to read the horoscope every morning, right? And I just switched the horoscope for Proverbs. And man, it started to change my life. And I'm like, well, geez, well, if that's changing my life just that little bit, right? Maybe I'll start reading. Well, I started in the Old Testament. Like, I didn't think that, the New Testament would be more helpful, but I started in the Old Testament just because I liked, like, hearing the audio Bible as I was going along with the story. And just, I loved the stories. I just loved them. And then I got into the New Testament second, right? Which I didn't know was odd. I didn't know that most people just uh, read the New Testament. But yeah, I do read the New Testament far more, right? But the first book I read in the New Testament, you would think it'd be one of the Gospels, but I read First Corinthians, and by the end of reading First Corinthians, I felt like I just left the club or something. I was so pumped up, right? I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get into the next book. And it only took me like less than an hour, right? And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be good, man. And it didn't disappoint. It didn't disappoint. And I wish I would have read the Gospels sooner, but they were long, so I skipped them to read shorter books, right? Just being lazy, right? But once I started reading the Gospels, I'm like, wow, just the words of Jesus were amazing, you know? Yeah, right. What's AJM say? Oh yeah, the Mystic Meg. Yeah. No, what was that lady's name? She used to have that hotline back in the day. She'd be like, "Call me now for your free reading, Miss Chloe, Miss Chloe." You call 1-900 or whatever, and she tells you your fortune or what, you know. But there's always a strip in the paper, you know. I couldn't afford to make those calls. They were like $1 a minute. Madam Cleo, that's right. Call me now for your free reading. What is that, Whitney Houston's aunt? I had no idea. You know, I mean, I know all the famous people are related and we really had no chance and all that, but man, that really sucks when, like, you know, you're already Whitney Houston and your aunt gets to be Miss Cleo. How come one of us can't be Miss Cleo or whatever, you know? Make a few dollars, you know? Why does only one family got to be rich, you know? But you know what? If I would have lived my life with money, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Like now, I could really give a care less about money, to be honest. You know, it's like it gets in the way of what you really want, and so like I didn't learn that until just recently in my life that you don't want money, you want the thing that money buys, right? And so there's what I had to learn the hard way was that there's more than one type of currency in the world, right? Like there's other things that are worth something other than that paper, right? Like, like if you're a helpful, nice person, right, that has value to other people, And so if you save up all this non-material value in people, then you'll never go hungry. Like, trust me, if you're a nice person to people and supportive and genuine and honest, right? Like, um, asking for money is always uncomfortable, right? But like, if you were at somebody's house and you have all this non-material value stored up, of course they're gonna feed you something. Like money is a thing that gets in the way of what our real value is to other people. It's a way to shortcut having any kind of character, right? Like if I have $1 million, I don't have to be nice, right? And so it really takes away from what you are. But I know people, there are going to be people with money that do have a lot of value stored up, in other people. And I'm not painting people with a broad brush on that, but it just seems that that's one of the easiest ways to be lazy and cut corners on your character. Good morning, BB. How you doing? Glad to see you. Yeah, I wish I had a cup of coffee. In fact, I need to take an Excedrin because I was like having a headache earlier, and I think I have an Excedrin somewhere over here. And they have caffeine in it, so that'll be like having a cup of coffee, I guess. We have a couple Excedrin, and hold on a second. Maybe get some coffee in. Did anybody want to come up and talk? I mean, I know that I ask a lot. Uh, if anybody wants to come up, and I'll drop the link or whatever, and because I think that's good, right? To like, but you see, I think the mistake I made last time is that having more than one person up at a time is like we lose focus. And so just having one person up at a time and just chatting or whatever, I think that's good. It's a good way to extend the show. Because like I can hold you guys for like a half an hour. Like I can find a way to do that. But like if I'm gonna do like an hour stream or whatever, I'm gonna need a co-host. Like I'm gonna need like at least a semi like a semi um regular co-host, you know, and male or female, it doesn't matter. I mean, preferably somebody that knows scripture pretty good, you know, that would be better, but it doesn't matter either way. Oh yeah, and another thing I wanted to talk about, right? Since we have this like, you know, we have like this little community here, right? And there's a lot of strong people in here, and I was thinking about it because I think it was Clutchbeard was talking in Arwen's, right, about, you know, thinking about just in case he has to move, right? Like, what are we willing to do for people, right? Like, if that's the case, right? Like, like I would be able to, you know, put somebody up while they're looking for a job and putting things together for their family. You know, I'd be able to do that. You know, they'd have to like be able to buy their own food for a little while and you know get on their feet pretty quickly. You know, but I would be willing to do that. You know, is there like anybody like out there that's like, you know, if somebody needs to move, right, because of the restrictions or whatever, that might be able to take somebody in, right? And I mean, if things get totally apocalyptic, I'll take on. I mean, you can all come and be with, you know, because here's the thing: I'm not gonna like be like super prepped, right? I'm just gonna like, because I want to be mobile, and so you know, I want to be able to be on the move, right? But I have a lot of like, I have a lot of personal equity stored up with people, you know. Like I've been really good to a lot of people for a long period of time, you know. And I know that that only goes so far, but in this kind of a situation, right? If people can depend on you, it's probably good. And so, you know, in that, if it gets totally like that, then yeah, sure, it's whatever. But I mean, if before that, right? If somebody needs to move, like, would we be able to help each other do that? You know, I can only help really one person. So if they had a family, they would have to come out on their own and then you know, get on their feet pretty quickly in a few weeks or a month or whatever, couple months, and then bring their you know, bring their family out, you know. But I don't know anybody who wants to relocate to California, you know. That's going to be that would be tough, man. It's expensive out here and but there's good jobs, I guess, you know. I mean, it's so hard, right? Like cuz I mean, you know, how you know, what do we do, right? You know? Like here's the thing, I can't expect you guys to be like how I am, right? Like there's certain hills that I'm willing to die on that are far before the mark of the beast, you know? Like there's certain things I'm just not going to do. It's just worth dying for, you know? And oh, what part of California were you in? Oh, your family was out there. I had spent some time out in Ohio too, but it's hard. It's hard to talk about that stuff on because the trolls listening, right? But you know, it's all insignificant. It's like if someone wants to dig up my boring past, good luck. You know, being a military guy, I mean, they just teach you how to like really live a clean life. I was in the part of the military where you couldn't have any kind of craziness on your record. You know, so like you know, I didn't leave a big paper trail everywhere. You know, but you know, it still sucks that people try to dig and you know, mess with you or whatever. I mean, it's just crazy. It makes you feel not free, you know, when we should be all like, you know, there for each other, right? You would think the Spirit of God would be that way. Hey, you know what? I'm very close to there. I'm like very close to there, BB. I could get there very easily. If you ever need me to get to anybody in that city, I could do that. I mean, Michelle lives out here too. Oh, hey, listen, I want you guys to do me a favor because you remember we prayed for that little girl and then they found her, you know, and that was a good uh scenario, right? Well, I had a friend that I had a friend that just lost a baby a week ago, and her boyfriend just left her too, and so I can imagine that's devastating. And please pray for her. I would say her name. Well, I'll say her name. Her name is Mishka, and she's really special. She really did a lot of favors for me. Like I met her at a flat Earth meetup. I met where we met Jaron and all that, which was definitely a weird experience. But I didn't imagine him being that weird. But anyway, you know, she, she, she does like dental. What do you call it? She builds. What do you call those things? Like dentures and stuff, and bridges and all that. And she did some work for me for free, and helped out a couple of my friends. And so, like, she's really a wonderful person. Probably the prettiest person I've ever met in real life. Not that that matters, but I mean, just 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 a nice young girl with a pretty good job, good head on her shoulders. But you know what? She needs some help right now. So just she doesn't need money or anything. She's good like that. But just pray, yeah. And I told her that I would pray for her, and get some prayer warriors to pray for her, because it's really her mood, just to get her out of that slump. And she deserves it. Like, there are certain people that just kind of deserve to feel good, and you just hurt when they hurt, and so it is what it is. Um, yeah, yeah. So, hey, does anybody want to come up? AJ, anybody? Because if not, like, I'm gonna like probably pick like one more subject and probably round out. But it would be neat to like figure out like how we could like what we're gonna do, and because I think things will exponentially get worse. And I know that some of you believe in there that we're in the little season after the millennium, which that comes with its own problems too. And so, like, I'm just saying that, like, we're saved by grace, right? It's a gift from God, right? And it's so important for us to get the good news out to people, right? If we're really like in the spirit of God, right? We're gonna want to just bring people good news, right? And comfort. And like, the sad part is like, it seems like the better and more godly I live, the more enemies I get. And it's crazy because it's not that I didn't believe God, right? It's not that I didn't believe God when he said that, they would hate me because they hated him too. But it's just so hard to imagine somebody hating Jesus walking the earth. Like, we're talking about a perfect person that not only doesn't sin, but doesn't brag about it, doesn't have pride, doesn't have any ego, right? I mean, a completely perfect person, right? And they hated him. And you wonder why, right? Like I feel like, like, I got a pretty good group of people here, right? It's just the right size, right, to be comfortable, right? I mean, nobody's perfect, right? There's people with problems, right? Certain people that have different issues, right? We all have character flaws, right, as people, but we're all like pretty strong people. I would say, like, I would trust at you, all of you. And it's like, you would think that if you run a channel pretty good, you stay humble, you try to teach what you know, but you know, I don't ever say that I know everything. I mean, there's people that know better than me for sure. And so, but it seems like the better I get at this, right, the more people hate me, man, or the more videos that I get made after me, or the more Bible channels that want to debate or have me on their channel. And I know what, see, like, I get what it's about, right? I get the spirit of it, right? It's like, yeah, I don't mind coming on their channel for a discussion or whatever. And there's one guy that's been not really hounding me to come on, but asking me, right? And he's got some beliefs that are a little on the edge, right? And some that I disagree with for sure. And it's like, do I go on a show where it's going to be like a debate, like some kind of debate? And I don't mind doing that, right? But like, I don't answer questions in the way that they're going to want me to answer it, because like a lot of these like channels and people that it took me a little bit to kind of grasp this, but like, not everyone holding a Bible has your best interest in at heart. And I'm laughing because it almost seems like the majority of the people that hold the Bible um, are like the worst people to me, and their image of God is different than what I read in the Bible. Is like, I don't look at rules to stretch or barriers to push or a one size fits all thing for people, right? Everybody reads the Bible and sees what limits are on, what limits God is putting on you, right? The truth is in the Bible. It's between you and God. They're not my rules, right? It's not my job to enforce the rules. I mean, if you're my friend, right, and I care about you, I'm gonna like privately come up to you and say, hey, this, and this probably isn't real biblical. If you want to straighten that up, it would be beneficial to you. If I think it would be beneficial to you, and then it's up to you, to do that. But to like try to put an outline, right, that's like one size fits all for everybody, it doesn't really work like that. There are some things that are dead set one size fits all, right? Because salvation is a gift from God. It's His thing, right? It's so it can only be one way, right? And the best reason to believe in something is not because you agree with it, but because it's true. You know, I mean, that's the number one reason I believe it is because it's true. And the number two reason I believe in it is because I love God. And um, the number three reason is because I'm happy with what it says in there about what's going to happen to me. And I don't think that that's, unfair. And really God cares about is how well you treat Him and then how well you treat other people. And, if anybody's got a problem with that, right, then it's, then you got other issues that you need to deal with before, you know, I don't know, man. What do I know? You know, I just I can only tell you how I'm doing it. And I know it feels right. I know that when I talk about salvation to people, most people agree with what I'm saying. And so like when I need to make sure that I'm right about something, I'll ask like three or four or five people, right? And try to get it right. But like what I'm running into lately is people asking me questions where they really don't want an answer back. They'll ask me some kind of trick question, and then I'll go find an answer and study, um, or someone will use their time to explain it to me or whatever, or send me something, and then I go back to the person and they never really were interested in it anyway. And so, that's a little frustrating because it's a waste of time. And really, my favorite part of running a channel is the after part. When everybody's texting me and if they need some support or if whatever. Sometimes there's always one person that needs some encouragement. And then there's more people that click on after. That they don't get home until like after 5 or whatever my time, and when they get home from work they listen or something. And so that's my favorite part is it does take a few hours to get through all that because I like it. I'm not complaining about it, absolutely. Hey Karen, you just snuck in here. It is a blessing to see you. It is. And I thought Marie C was snuck in here too, but maybe I didn't see her. Maybe she's not here. I know James Mason is here. I don't mention him, but I do notice him all the time in here. And then of course Joel's here, and I'm grateful for that. So no one wants to come up, man. That's man. I'm gonna need some of you to get brave, you know, because how do you know you're not the special spark, right? That is like like the energy that will stir the drink, like how do you know you're not the person that um can help other people, I mean, just being awake is such a blessing, right? Like there are so many people that don't know what we know. I mean, it's like their brains won't even allow them to consider it. And yeah, I mean, technology, of course it makes us worse, right? Because okay, so here's an example, right? Uh, like I had a habit of always going out with a pen, because I worked in an office, so I always had a pen on me, right? Well, when I got out of the army, I mean, I shed every habit that I had in the army. I shed it completely because I was just tired of life. I mean, my parents just got a divorce. I just got a divorce. I just got out of the army. I mean, like a lot of changes happened for me, right? And having to move again. I mean, just the stress of everything, right? And I kind of had a little breakdown right after my divorce, and I don't mind admitting that. And I had some drinking and some addiction issues, right? And I didn't have a pen, right? I never had a pen, but for some reason I got better at remembering numbers. And so I know that that pen, while convenient, right, actually made me worse as a person because I wasn't in a practice of remembering numbers. And then not having it for a long time, I got really good at it. And it's the same thing with math. Like when I don't mess with my calculator, if I do everything in my head, I get sharper at math. It's like it's a perishable skill. It's like running, right? If you run every day, then you get better at running. But like it's like when you use math every day, you get better at it. And when you don't use it, it gets harder. Hey Richie, how you doing? Nice to see you. Good morning. Yeah, so I mean, like, I think technology makes us worse and takes us kind of away from what we were meant to be, right? Because I just picture like Adam and Eve in the garden, right? As long as they can get to that tree of life, right? Everything was all good. It was like conditional, immortality, right? I mean, if as long as they could get to that tree and eat that fruit, it was all good, right? And when they got banned from the garden, right? I think that every step of the way from that point, right, was taking us away from what we really are. And I think we're really meant to just be in paradise and love God. I think that's what we're made for, right? Specifically to love Him. And um, now that I've like submitted to God, gave my, like, accepted the gift of grace, right, of salvation, right, and had a repentant heart about it. Really changed as a person completely. Like there are people that knew me before that probably wouldn't recognize me now. And I didn't do that to myself. It just happened, right? And so um I now feel like my what I want to do and what I crave is to love and worship God all the time. And I'm always in fear that not in fear, but I'm I always feel as if I'm not doing it good enough or if I'm not living as good as I can. Not that I'm like sad about it. I know I do my best, right? But I do want to do better every day for God. I do. And I know that like my salvation is secure, right? It's not about uh me proving anything to God or adding anything on top, right? He gave me the gift of grace, but it's just a matter of me wanting to I want God to be happy with me. I want to do what I'm made to do. And so it's like Yeah, I could probably live forever and be happy here, sure, but I would rather be with God in a glorified body. And I don't think that's too ridiculous of a statement to make, Like I can't wait to be in a glorified body and not hurt anymore and not you know, be hungry or tired or any of that. And that's right, we're protected by God. We are. I am. I know that. So I know that if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for God, and if another person is not doing what they're supposed to be doing for God, and they come after me, I know I'm protected. I don't need to do anything. I just need to have faith in God. That's it. He is faithful. He will protect me. Like he will not let me down. He can't. Not that he can't, in ability. It's just that he won't. You know, and he never has. He's never let me down. God is faithful. And so, you know, so what's up with this 23 trillion? I think that what is that? Our debt? I mean, 23 trillion. I think it's more than that. It's got to be like, well, it's up there. The thing that's scary about this debt, right? Well, I mean, it's obviously interest debt to the Federal Reserve, but I mean, we only have $45 trillion. What this is what they say, right? This is if you believe their crap, right? But they say that we have $45 trillion in assets in the whole country, and so like literally we're going to get bought. And but if that happens, right, then um, yeah, I agree, Arwen. I mean, we're basically going to be owned by whatever we owe money to. I think it's the Federal Reserve, or it might even be um like a fund that will be owned by the bankers. Because I mean, when they print our money, they loan it to us with interest, and then but like if they print $3 million, then and they charge interest, well, we only have the 3 million they printed. We'll never have that interest money. So the only way to get that interest money into circulation is to loan it out into debt. And now that they do fractional reserve banking, which is, I mean, a crazy game of math, right? Where for every $1 they have, they loan out $12. And so, like, if a bank has like $1 trillion, they can loan out 12 trillion. But if they loan it out into debt, it doesn't go into circulation and devalue the other money. Once it's paid back, it'll be real money again, right? But you have so many bad loans, right? It's just a mess, right? You got fake money being loaned out and then interest on that fake money and people defaulting on a fake money loan. And it is, yeah, you're right. Like, this is what I don't get about being born on this earth, right? Like, I was born here, right? I should get an equal part. I should own an equal part. Like, everyone should get an equal piece, right? But we have people that like years ago, right, hundreds of years ago, decided to give away all the shiny gold and all this, and trade it for paper. They made that dumb deal, right? And I got to live with it because I was born after that happened, right? And so I think that that's unfair, right? I mean, I know I'm laughing, right? But it's real, man, right? It's like being born with a disease, right? You're like, man, I got born with this stuff, man. It's gonna keep reoccurring. This is horrible. Yeah, it's all nonsense, man. They could base the money on dog poop for all I care, right? It's the same to me. It's all silly. I don't even know why gold is worth anything anyway. I don't want it. I don't. Like, yeah, okay, it's shiny, whatever. So they picked that to be the money, whatever. And then they don't even base it on that. I mean, who knows, right? Then they tell you that oil is made from fossils, right? Just so that they can like put some scarcity on it, right? Like, oh, it'll run out eventually. When they've been pumping out the same oil, they've been pumping out of the same oil fields for 100 years, man. You know what I mean? They don't ever run dry. I bet there's about the same amount of oil as there is water, probably. I mean, it's crazy, right? And they could charge whatever they want if they own it all, right? And so, I mean, everything's a lie, right? I mean, it's a lie is built on another lie, built on another lie. Before you know it, you got people walking around in suits, right? They don't even know what their job is, man. I mean, it's so silly, right? Because like I remember being a little kid and I was always good at math, right? Like I just that was always something fun that I liked to do, you know. And I loved little number puzzles and stuff. And I would be trying to add up like certain like businesses, like like how are they making money? Like how much does stuff cost to make, and how much do they make? How much do they charge, and how much is the trucking and the shipping? And I mean, there's some companies that just it's like they're not trying to make money, right? Like almost like it doesn't matter, right? I mean, it matters that we get like a certain amount of credits and then we get to spend that, right? And get the energy or whatever. But it's like they operate on some other kind of money, you know? It's like it doesn't really matter if they make money or not on certain businesses. I mean, a regular person like you and me, right, would have to borrow money and then our business would have to make a profit to pay employees to live on, that kind of thing, right? But big corporations, I mean, if they're in trouble, right, in debt, hundreds of millions of dollars, they just get bailed out. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, man, because it's like yeah. I mean, look, hey, Joel, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like this. I mean, I'm ready to die, right? Not because I'm suicidal, not because I'm gonna say that the world's ending on a certain day, not because I'm trying to will it into existence. I'm not, right? I'm just saying like I'm ready to do that because there's certain things that are worth dying for. And anytime you live in a society where they tell you, okay, you got to do this in order to get that, that's not a good deal, man. No matter what it is. If they say, okay, from now on, all citizens must wear black pants all the time, or else they can't go to ball games or whatever. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to live in a world where I have to see my kids put on black pants. If I mean, I don't mind if it's me, right? Because it doesn't bother me. I could adapt, right? But I'm not going to do it because I don't want other generations of my family to have to go through that. It has to stop somewhere. And I guess I'm that guy that's willing to do that. And so while it might seem stupid to die over a pair of pants, right? Somebody has to do it or it keeps going. You know what I mean? First it's take your shoes off at the airport, then it's take off, give me your belt, then it's you can't bring shoe, right? It's the rules get tighter and tighter. They never say, "Oh, okay, the thread is off. We're gonna, now you don't have to take off your shoes." No, it doesn't go that way. It only goes more and more, tighter, tighter. And people make deals. Okay, well, we'll take off our shoes and we'll be safer. It's like an exchange, right? Those aren't equal things, right? Like anytime someone makes you do something against your will, right? Even if it's not that big of a deal, right? It can only get worse and worse. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but that's the way I see the wind blowing. And and hey, I look in the timeline, Joel. I mean, hey, look, I saw your video, and I recommend people see the video that you showed me. Because it is. I mean, it's intriguing. The idea of it, right? And I want to embrace myself for all possibilities, right? So definitely, I would recommend people watching it and getting informed on it, right? But I think that we're right before the mark, right? And I do see a rapture when I read the Bible. I see a rapture in there, and so I know some people that read the same Bible and don't see it in there. And so I don't know what that is. I don't know what the thinking of that is. And so I don't know. Maybe the Bible speaks differently to people because I know smart people, right? I mean, brilliant people that are on either side of that, you know? And I see where the people who are not seeing it, I understand their argument. And I see also that it's in there. Like when I read it for myself, I see it in there. And so it's like, you know, okay, um, Sasquatch, did you did you have anything to add on the you know the end times Revelation timeline, Sasquatch, or you're not in the mood for that conversation? Anytime you want to come back or come on or whatever, you know, I never really got a chance to get to know you, and I thought like when I first saw you over when you were over there, you know, you had the right idea about salvation. I knew that you were a Christian person, you know, so just right off the bat. So like if you feel, I want you to feel comfortable here, you know, and so you know, we're all doing our best to get closer to Jesus here, you know. Anyway, it was nice to see you here. Thanks for coming by. And so you know, I mean, I'll tell you what, we're running out of time, right? And I'll tell you what, it doesn't take a lot of effort to accept grace from Jesus and you know, get your salvation in order. I mean, I don't see how that hurts. And then plus you could give all the weight of everything you're thinking about, all your problems, you could put them on God and be free of that and have peace, you know? I mean, before I had God in my life, I just wanted someone to tell me how to be, you know, just tell me how to be. I didn't feel comfortable ever, you know? And I want people to feel the joy and the peace that I have, you know? I don't know. I just, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I love you guys. I've been up here rambling, you know, and you know, I'm not really on fire today with anything great. But you know, just hey, look, don't take any wooden nickels out there, you know? And if you don't know what that is, it just means don't fall for the tricks, you know? It's like it's cool to see David Copperfield, right? And it's cool to see him make a motorcycle disappear. But once you know that it's a trick, right, and you know how it works, it's not fascinating anymore, you know. And so that's how the heliocentric model of you know, it tricks us into thinking that it's real by giving us illusions, right? That there's proof, right? And it's the same thing with this world trying to hide Jesus from us, right? It's all illusions, right? You know, everything in the way is an illusion. And you know, hey, it was unlikely, right? When I started out, like even as a teenager, right, I wasn't even thinking about like accepting God into my life, right? I mean, I always talked to like something at night, you know, but um, you know, I thought everything in the world would have to be a lie in order for the Bible to be true, and that's exactly what is going on. I mean, I mean, I thought there's no way the Bible can reconcile like all this proof about evolution and heliocentric Earth and all that. Like, I mean, all that's reconciled now. Everything, you know. So, you know, I can tell you with great confidence that it's real. So it's up to you guys, you know. And if you don't want it, right? If you do accept it as being true and then you choose against it, then that's up to you. And you know, I support your free will. You know, that's from God. But anyway, I love you guys and have a good weekend. Be safe. I will be here tomorrow. I am every day at 7. I'm going to be consistent for you guys. I'm going to try to be that for you. Okay. And, you know, if you need me, you guys know how to contact me, you know. And if you don't know how to contact me, email me at goodservant22@gmail.com. And, you know, I'm here for you, you know. And so, God bless you. And of course, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And I'll see you later.